Rupert Murdoch admitting to a cover-up of phone hacking at the now defunct tabloid The News of the World, but he says his company, News Corp, was the victim, not the perpetrator. Murdoch testifying for a second day before an inquiry into journalistic ethics. Dan Rivers joins me now, live from outside the Royal Courts of Justice in London. And yes, a real personal testimony from Mr Murdoch today, and that admission of a cover-up of big news.
It is big news, yeah, and I think it could have repercussions further than the UK as well. I mean, News Corp is a US-listed company. There are going to be questions about, well, hang on, why didn't you tell shareholders earlier on that there was a cover-up going on? What did you do to address that? When did you find out that your executives were involved in a cover-up? And so on and so forth. So I think that there are going to be ripples from the testimony here in London today. But there was also interesting personal insight into his mindset, the way he ran the company, and also the moment at which he found out about this phone hacking story sort of going stratospheric, when it was revealed that News of the World journalists had hacked into the voicemail of a murdered schoolgirl, Millie Dowler. Rupert Murdoch described what that moment was like.
You could feel the blast coming in the window almost. And as I say, I'd say it succinctly, I panicked. But I'm glad I did.
Well, it's obvious that closing it was a disaster, both...
I'm sorry I didn't close it years before and put a Sunday Sun in.
So they're saying that he was sorry he didn't shut down the News of the World long before he did, and that he panicked, but he was glad he panicked. Pretty kind of candid testimony, which kind of sums up the man, I think, in a way. He's sort of disarmingly candid and frank at times about what went on, how he ran the company. But, the big picture, Michael, was consistently denying that he had the kind of influence over politicians that it is alleged he had. And sort of saying this has all been, way exaggerated over the top, and in fact, he's trying to portray himself as more of a humble newspaper proprietor. But I think a lot of his critics will find that difficult to believe.